Today's video is going to be as raw as it gets on what we do when everything feels like it's on fire. In the last 2 days, we've spent $60,000 on ads and made back less than half of it in back end and low ticket purchases. All of this is just going to be me sharing what we found that's broken, what we're doing to fix it, and how we look at situations when these happen where everything feels like it's on fire. All right, last year we did 30 million in cash collected. All this channel is me sharing what failed clearly, what worked, and what we are doing actively to scale to 100 million a year, all with the goal of finding top talent, opportunities, and building a network of people who are doing the same. So let's get into it. Everything's on fire is what we kind of keep hearing when these things happen. So 60K in spend between Meta and Google, and this is for our backend, so our main VSL funnel and our low ticket funnel. But we've only collected 4 new units, so 23,000 in cash, which is terrible. So for us, normally this would be like 15 plus units, 15, 20, even like when bad, which is, we've never had this in like 2 to 3 years where we've had this low of sales per booking on total booking volume. Low ticket, we sold 131 in the last 2.5 days, which is high for us. And I'll get into kind of where that's breaking things. So to start, let's just do this. So schedule versus purchase. So historically, we've never had success running schedule optimized Facebook ads ever. Like it's always been purchase as a majority of it. We do schedule almost as like a toggle to make sure that we keep the calendars booked because we can't sometimes get the purchase booking volume high enough. And that's where we're at right now. So like 80% of the bookings were coming from schedule, which leads to a decrease in the overall funnel optimization or quality that comes through the funnel. So instead of for us in the past, when we've had low calendar that are coming through purchase, we just crank up schedule to fill the space because they do still close. It's just a much lower rate. Now, this is not working right now. These are backing out historically worse than they ever have. So for us in current state on day, we have 142 apps with 33 bookings, which is only 23% of apps are booking. And that is because with this financial disqualifier. So we have it set so it's less than 1K, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 plus, or 10 to 15, 10 to 20, and then 20 plus. And anybody who's less than 1K gets pushed to not book a call, depending on the day and the volume and whatever. But so that what that means is that so many of these apps are disqualified that they're all not able to book, right? So the only bookings that are coming in are quality, ideally, but they're coming from both schedule and purchase optimization. What these also then leads to is show rate tanking. So we'll go from a 55, 60% to a 45% or a 40% of the shows on calls. So not only do you have less qualified people, you have less count of bookings and you have less of them actually show up for live calls, which then leads to something like this. So we've never historically had this low of a sales per booking more than 1 day ever. And it's been the last 2 days we had like 2 units. It was like 1 to 2 units. Technically they were follow-up that came through, but on new. It's crazy. So follow-up DQ automation. So what I mean by this is we're training our pixel on schedule. And I have other videos about this. Like we still don't optimize for this because I think it's because it's so dirty. So the changes we made this morning, we got on with CMO, who's again, absolute rock star founder. Other founder is very marketing heavy rock star. And I'm just there for moral support. But we got on and made a bunch of adjustments inside the ad account to go to purchase, to get rid of a bunch of the schedule, to decrease overall volume, but try and get into these pockets of purchase instead of schedule. But I started to think on what was wrong with the schedule. And what we have right now is automations that are pushing back to the main booking widget, which fires a schedule on everyone in the automation. So like I'm an idiot. And I didn't realize that until I did realize it earlier. I just couldn't come up with a solid way to fix it. And I just fixed it this morning. We're fixing it on SMS now, but we're fixing it on email to where if they answered less than 1K, they live in this automation. If they answered anything else, they live in this automation. Okay. Now what that'll do is make it so all the less than 1K people get pushed to the DQ booking page, which will not fire the pixel and will land on ramping and kind of newer reps. And all the quality will land with the best closers and the best things. I also had someone comment about that saying like, oh, that's crazy. And then you think that they're going to have comparable stats or whatever. And like, no, of course we don't. But like, listen to any of the top closers, top closer trainers, Hormozy, whatever. It's like you want your best leads to land with your best closers. We're not saying, oh, though that should be compared to somebody who's ramping or new, but there is a baseline. They still should be closing 5 to 8% sales per booking and then push up there once you give them more qualified. And also all of them are on both bookings. So you still get all of them. It's just who gets more of them based on priority. So financial qualifier broken. As soon as I fix this, as soon as I fixed this automation, I realized people were answering multiple because someone had popped into the form and made it so the financial qualifier could be answered multiple questions. And I found this a couple days ago and it's mapped so many places I didn't fix it, but now it's critical that it is. So someone could answer less than 1K, 1 to 5K, 5 to 10, and like all these different ones. And if any of them said less than 1K, they were getting routed out, even if those are generally quality, because it means that they have spent up to 10K, but also less than 1K in their mind. So we fixed that whole thing, remapped it, swapped out the form, changed the question, the routing, just all the things this morning as well. So that'll increase quality that comes through, or more so allow the quality people to book into the right widget. I'm getting tech issues over here. 15 bookings or so in like the last 2 or 3 days have come in as men, which we only serve women. So we like instant cancel them. So it takes up spots and then obviously is taking spend. So we go in and we find that Google was targeting, they're running a test basically where it was all, and the test clearly got too much traction. Not cool. So turned that off, and it was targeting all, and we got rid of, because it's on Google, it is women, men, and unknown. And we just went down to just women. So the other one had unknowns, and then one even had men on it. So we turned that off. Our Google Media Buyer is like a sicko, does everyone's stuff in the space. So not to say it was like a bad idea to do, but just for us being women only, it did not back out and was getting us too many bookings that were coming from men. Too many low ticket. What I mean by this, we are ramping an entire marketing setup division with a new CMO and all of the things in the VSL funnel, and then also launching low ticket all at the same time, while then launching an entire setter team with now 6 setters in like a week and a half onboarded. And I have other videos of how much like cash collected we had and like them firing off. But then everything at once hitting is stress and is like us trying to navigate that. So what I mean by too many low ticket is when this financial qualifier is hit or this DQ is hit, they're getting routed to buy the low ticket. So you have those plus all the ad spend on it. And why too many? And the only reason I say too many is because, I'll wait on those, is because of this bottom portion here, which is basically the setters take the calls on the back end. So someone buys, the OTO is to book a call, and the booking call is an implementation call, not a closer call, and it's with the setter. So if they don't have the calendar availability, or we don't have reps that are ramped that can take the calls yet, they're going into like nowhere land. Okay, so big issue. And I just found out that this morning, where the setter calendars were broken and not connected properly in Calendly. So one didn't have Zoom connected, so all the bookings that are coming in have no Zoom and or can't book. And then somebody else had their availability broken to where they had an out of office across the entire thing, so they couldn't get open spots. We were supposed to be able to take 60 of them, and they were only able to book out until like Tuesday, and today is Saturday. So instantly got in, fixed all that, and shortened the time, so now people can book today, tomorrow, all of that, because just on a calendar break. Setter data management, I then went into the pieces, and like our outbound director, also sicko, comes with experience and is like crushing it, but like doesn't necessarily know our systems, so doesn't have the experience with our specific setup to know like where to look for the data and where things are maybe not getting filled in. So we're not getting auto set versus self set filtered. They're not changing from call schedule to deal outcome, like just stuff that ramping reps and new people are going to like struggle with making sure they do all the things. Data was all skewed in there. People weren't changing call scheduled over. They weren't changing auto set versus self set. And like, they're crushing it. Like their stats are good on the ones they close and how they backed out. But that in between, I don't know how many are no showing canceling. Can I solve for that with better automations? Are they financially DQ'd? Are they too far out on the calendar so they're no showing? Like I can't make decisions unless I have the correct data. And that was all broken. And then getting into this one, split testing. So I shared on this channel specifically split testing stuff on how the control was basically still winning in comparison to the 2 variations, but then variation 2 was also like very close and is closer in branding and all that. So we want to turn that on. I am like as big of an idiot as it comes. All of the email traffic and automations for step 1 of the low ticket and step 2. So the one for step 1 is they gave us name and email and then didn't purchase. So we push them back to the purchase page. And then for the people that purchased, but then didn't book a call, we push them back to there. Okay. For the main one, for the push to book or push to purchase, I had it all going to the control page. So yeah, it has comparable units and it has like this higher uptick and like it's beating the control. Yeah, all of them are funding to that or filling to that. So completely skewed the data on the split test. We still have the front end data and we still have the purchase data. And now we just know like it's clear that the variation is winning based on that. But like by how much, I can't even tell you. So super annoying with self that we didn't set up a standalone. So now we set up a standalone page that has all the tracking back to the pixel, doing all the things. And then we changed all the email traffic to go there. So like that'll clean the data. And then on the booking page, it's sending back to the control, which has like a 20% book rate. And the split has like a 70% book rate. So changed it to that one. So like just there, we probably dropped, we cleaned the stats up and then we probably increased the call rate by 20, 30%. like on how many of we're booking. So not actually affected the CPA or anything like that, because like they all still work, but just crazy to see that I let that happen. So I don't know. This is definitely not a case study video. This is just like an excited to look back video, because I made a video saying that we did 1.59, I believe, last month. And that is terrible for us. Like we bleed when that happens and lose money because the team is so big, because of the spends, because like everything. And we're okay with that. You know, obviously we want to go up, but like, I just want to be able to share raw stuff like that so you guys can see. I'm getting too many comments that are like, oh, of course you did, of course this and that, and like, you know, sharing not true. It's like, why would I share that we lost money if we didn't? Like, so yeah, all of these are just me raw doing this, how I'm thinking through this process, how we're optimizing fix this, and like total conviction that we'll get it back on track in the next X amount of days. I will go back to making videos on how-tos and case studies and things of where we're at. But yeah, excited to be able to look back on this in a month or 6 months or a year and be like, wow, we were losing money month over month or day over day. And we flipped it on its head, turned it around, scaled it up to sicko levels, 3, 5, 10 million a month. So yeah, that's all I got today. Drop comments. I don't know. I think that feeds the algo. Likes, Instagram for comms. Talk soon.